welcome back to Coloring Through the Bible. My name is Kiki-Ann Harkins, and today I want to talk to you about settling for things. I went to the pet store. If you've been watching any of my videos, you've kind of heard about my struggles with this fish tank that now everybody seems to be happy. All my little fish are swimming. Nobody's pouting. But we had lost a couple fish. And so I thought I would surprise my boys by getting some more, because we have a 30-gallon fish tank and we'd only bought a couple, just to start it off. And now I thought it would be fun to buy this fish that my son had wanted. It was this big fat fish. And I thought, no, we're not going to get him first because we have to get the fish tank established. You have to buy little cheap fish, and then we'll buy the big cool guys after we know everybody's going to live. So I went while they were at school just to surprise them with this big fat fish that they had called Bobby. And I went to the store. It's 90 miles to the nearest Walmart, and they have fish. And I'm standing there looking in these fish tanks, and the fish are horrible. I mean, there's dead fish in every single tank. They have little white scales all over them. The fish that my son really wanted, his tail in the last 2 weeks since we had been there, it was just all like rotted off. It was just disgusting. But I had driven an hour and a half to go to buy fish. And the next store is another hour away, as far as I know. And I know I can't go there and come back before my kids get home from school. So I'm standing there, and I swear I am looking in these fish tanks, trying to find the less disgusting fish. I am searching for one that does not look like the plague has erupted in its tank. And a lady comes up to me, and she's like, "Oh, you're not going to buy any of those fish, are you?" And I'm like, "I've driven an hour and a half. My son's I can't go home with nothing. It's 3 hours in the car for nothing." And I would feel super guilty. And she told me of a pet store I did not know existed there in that town. And I went to this pet store, and it's the best pet store I've ever been in. It was amazing. They had tons of fish. I mean, not just 3 little fish tanks to choose from. They had probably 30 fish tanks with gorgeous, healthy, beautiful fish. The lady was super helpful. It was the coolest pet store I have ever been to. And I was driving home with my 4 little fish that aren't as big and fat as my son wanted, but they are the same fish, so they'll grow into that big, cool fish that he wanted. And I was driving home so happy, so pleased that I got these beautiful, healthy little fish. And then that thought hit me. I was willing to take the less diseased. I was seriously going to take the one that just looked the less disgusting. And how often do we do that in our own life? Think of it from God's perspective. God has something so wonderful planned for us. And instead, we're wallowing in what he said we shouldn't have. We're holding on to our sin. We're holding on to relationships or situations that aren't healthy for us. We're trying to choose the less painful path in life. And all the time God is saying, I have something better for you. There's a place that's better. There's a path that's better. God has a plan and a purpose for each and every one of us, and they're good plans. Sometimes we have to go through hard times. Sometimes we have to go through times that are painful. Maybe even go through times where we're struggling with some sickness in our life, physically or emotionally, or even some spiritual problems that we're having. But those are things we go through. And while I was driving home and I was thinking of settling for diseased fish when God had these beautiful, healthy fish waiting for me and I had to go 5 blocks away, I was driving and there was blowing and drifting snow. And from my vantage point, I could see clear skies on the other side of what was like this little blizzard blowing across the highway. And it was the same thing. If I'm in the blizzard of my life, I can want to just hunker down and just give up or turn back and think it's not worth it to keep pressing on. Sometimes life is scary, sometimes it's hard, and we want to just give up. We want to go back. We want to just say, it's not worth this heartache, this struggle, this pain. I give up. And just down the road, there's blue skies. So don't settle for the easy way. Don't settle for the way that seems less bad. Don't settle for anything other than God's best for your life, because that's what God has for you. He has the best in store for you. And sometimes you have to go through a blizzard to get to it. And sometimes you have to take a turn when you really wanted to go straight. But God always has the best things planned for us. We can't give up, and we can't settle for second best. So I just wanted to encourage you today, because it really encouraged me. How many times do I settle for what's not exactly right? How many times do I settle for an okay situation when God wants better than okay for us? He wants us to have fabulous. He wants us to have joy that overflows, not just okay. So don't settle. You are a child of God. You're a child of the King. Don't forget that. He's right there anytime you need him. He'll see you through the bad times, and he's got amazing things planned for you. So hang on. I hope you've been encouraged, and thanks for spending some time with me today. Have a truly, truly blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.